The crisis of Indian agriculture can be traced to the crisis of seed. The Green Revolution dismantled the traditional structures of Indian agriculture, which had functioned so marvelously for several millenniums. During the post-Green Revolution, emphasis shifted to high-yielding varieties which were heavily dependent on large quantities of water and nutrients. In the process, the farmers not only lost their local varieties, but also gave a go-by to traditional practices. By the beginning of the new millennium, the crisis had reached a stage of no return. And the debilitating impact of the Green Revolution was clearly visible. As the seed varieties and practices introduced by the Green Revolution began to fail the farmers, the traditional practices and time-tested local seed varieties that farmers could have banked upon were fast vanishing. It is in this historic context that Green Foundation initiated its program on reviving, conserving and multiplying local varieties of seeds and taking it back to the community. For most of the human history, seeds have been regarded as sacred. Seeds provide the all-important link from one year's harvest to next year's crop, and on which human life was dependent upon for centuries. The genetic makeup of the seeds reflects the vision of the farming systems that create them. Traditionally, farmers not only used a wide range of species in their complex agriculture systems of intercropping mingled with agroforestry, farmers also mixed several varieties of the same species, ensuring security against climate variations, pests and other forms of stress. People in the state of Karnataka call agriculture Aramba, literally meaning the beginning. The first ploughing, which starts in early April, is followed by a series of activities ending with threshing and grains being transported to their homes. February and March, when the direction of wind is favorable, winnowing is performed. This is marked by the arrival of the new year, celebrated with joy and gaiety. After a pause of 6 to 8 weeks, the summer shower starts, and with it the next Aramba. Indigenous practices of agriculture depended largely upon the good rainfall and ample organic manure. This facilitated good harvest of grains. Mixed cropping system favors cultivation of diversity that enhances the ecological and economic conditions. Minor millets, including finger millets, kodo millets, foxtail millet, and barnyard millet, are all grown in over 7 million hectares in India, producing 5 million tons of grain per annum. Finger millet alone accounts for cultivation in 2.6 million hectares with production of 3 million tons, and it is the staple food for millions of people in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, Maharashtra and Bihar. Farmers choose types of varieties to suit varied agroclimatic conditions, from low rainfall and high temperatures, coupled with varied soil conditions for optimum growth. Indigenous knowledge of farmers is a vital part of the process of making agriculture sustainable. The first basic step in crop improvement starts with the selection of quality of seeds. Farmers select healthy-looking seeds and seeds that are free of diseases. Through repeated selection of seeds for particular characteristics, over the years farmers have developed seeds with specific characteristics. Green Foundation's initiative of field days, where farmers identify varieties that have unique features like yield, straw, grain quality, and other preferred characteristics. Their choice of seed is then marked by tying a piece of thread and later graded for popularity. The varieties that are most popular amongst the farmers are then distributed to all the farmers for multiplication. Examples of such varieties include Kempu Ragi, Ambe More, and Chinnaponni.
ಕೆಂಪು ರಾಗಿ ಸಣ್ಣಾಗಿದ್ರು ಸಹ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಳು ದಪ್ಪಾಗಿದೆ, ಒಟ್ಟು ಬಹಳ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. ಹುಲ್ಲು ದನಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಣ್ಣಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹುಲ್ಲು ರುಚಿಯಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದನಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎತ್ತರವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ, ಹುಲ್ಲು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ, ರೈತರಿಗೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಗಿನೂ ಬಹಳ ಕೆಂಪಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
Women play a major role in conserving the diversity at the farm level. As major food producers in terms of value, volume, and quality, it is the women who decide on the amount of seeds that have to be stored, the variety, and the method of storing them. The role of women in the selection of seeds begins when the crops comes into flower. Because women are involved in weeding, harvesting crops and collecting grains, they watch the crops grow through the whole life cycle and then select the right seeds. A recent study on gender division of labor has shown that women are involved in 37% of sowing, 60% interculturing, 60% harvesting of crops, 60% threshing, and nearly 70% of the work related to tending of animals. In agriculture, whilst men and women do work together in a complementary way, difficulty arises when decisions have to be taken whether to grow for the market or for the household consumption. The key role of rural women as food producers and providers is directly related to the diversity of local food crops and available biodiversity in their local surroundings. The local market has only cereals and pulses to offer during the months following harvest. Subsistence farmers, therefore, depend upon the planting material saved by women from their previous harvests. Women's specialized knowledge on the use of domesticated crops extends to wild plants, including leaves, fruits, berries, nuts, seeds, edible roots, and pulses. This is, however, threatened by modern agriculture, which is fast replacing local genetic material. The practice of seed collection calls upon a wealth of indigenous knowledge for distinguishing the varietal diversity in individual crops. Seed fairs, shandies, markets are excellent means of collecting and conserving biodiversity, exchanging knowledge and spreading that diversity. Hombalama is an organic farmer, a mother, a grandmother, a widow, and a seed conserver all rolled into one. She lives in a small village hidden in the valley between hill slopes bordering Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Frail in body but strong in her convictions about her heritage and tradition, she holds on to her 6 acres of totally rain-fed land. Specializing in exclusive varieties of paddy and finger millets, Hombalamba also grows crops like ragi, navane, avare, cowpea, groundnut, horse gram, red gram, besides growing vegetables like cluster beans, chili, pumpkin, ridge gourd, winged beans, brinjal, velvet beans, radish, okra, and greens. Hombalama believes in returning to nature what she takes from it, as she wakes up each morning with the sound of birds on this land. She is self-sufficient in organic inputs like vermicompost, jiva amruta, bija amruta, panchagavya, and makes her own plant-based pest repellent. She has successfully sold value-added products like castor oil, ghee, and spice powders, and is an important seed producer and conserver. She supplies her seeds to the Federation of Local Farmers.
ಮೂರೇ ಬೀಜ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಸಾ, ಮೂರೇ ಬೀಜ ಕೊಟ್ರು, 3 ಬೀಜ 1/4 kg ರಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಇದು 100 ಗ್ರಾಂ ರಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ರು, 50 ಗ್ರಾಂ ಕಾಳು ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಆ ಬೀಜ ಬಿತ್ತನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 10 ತರ ಕೊಟ್ರು. 10 ತರಾನು ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಉಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಹಂಗೆ ತೋರ್ಸಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿಕೆ ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟಿಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ.
Hombalama is not an isolated example of a woman who has internalized the need for conserving biodiversity in food crops. Women in rural communities worldwide contribute to sustainability in food production. While the diverse tasks of women are extremely difficult to quantify, there is no dispute about the role of women in securing food for the household. The role of women in subsistence agriculture is based on the multiple use of biomass for fodder, manure, food and fuel. In addition to their responsibilities for the farm and household, women are custodians of the food basket for the family. Green Foundation has worked with women like Homalamma to conserve the indigenous varieties of vegetables in the home gardens, and kitchen gardens have become the repositories of diverse vegetable seeds that farmers prefer. Jayaratnamma is a small-scale entrepreneur from a farming family living in Kolagondanhalli, Kanakpura Taluk, Ramanagara district. Although she runs a hotel in the nearby village, her heart lies in farming, and she helps her father and husband in farming during her spare time. Jayaratnamma has passionately and successfully developed her own kitchen garden in which 20 varieties of vegetables, including okra, 5 varieties of beans, field beans, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, ash gourd, and greens are cultivated. Consistent vegetable production has increased the family's nutritional status. And with the whole family being involved in farming, they all consume various vegetables throughout the year.
ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಇದೆ, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇಷ್ಟು ತರಕಾರಿನ ಖಾಲಿ ಬಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ತರಕಾರಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತರಕಾರಿ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಖಾಲಿ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. 5 ಜನಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವೇನು ಕೊಂಡಲ್ಲ ಆಚೆಯಿಂದ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ ತಗಿಂದ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು. ಅವು ಮುಂದೆ ತರುವಾಗ ಅವು ಕಾಸು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರೋ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋತ್ತಂದ ಮುಳುಗುವ 2 ದಿವಸ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಳ್ತೋಗೋದು, ಬಿಸಾಕಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆರೋಗ್ಯನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಧ ಕಾಸು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಲೆಸ್ಟು ಅಧ್ವಾನ ಆಯ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಳಿತಾಯ್ತು, ಬಿಸಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕೋ ನಾವು ಬೆಳ್ಕೊತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋತ್ತಾನೆ ತಿಂತೀವಿ. ಆರೋಗ್ಯನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ರುಚಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಥರ ತಿನ್ಬೋದು.
Jayaratnamma is conserving and protecting seeds for subsequent years' cultivation. She has been growing vegetables in a small patch of her land to cultivate kitchen garden for many years. After the intervention of Green Foundation in Kolagondanhalli village, she was introduced to many aspects of kitchen garden like health and nutrition, use of household waste as inputs, and growing different varieties throughout the year and producing her own seeds. She uses the dry waste to mulch the land. A wheel pattern was drawn with borders and different vegetable varieties are sown. The borders are used to grow greens, and she also has prepared raised bed measuring 8 by 4 feet and uses this bed to grow creepers, tomatoes and okra. Seed storage has been an intrinsic part of traditional agriculture. To keep their seeds clean and free from pests during storage, farmers follow some common practices. Seeds are commonly stored in earthen pots, bamboo baskets, or similar containers made from natural materials. Seed storability is significantly influenced by the type of seed selected. Seed with starch content can be stored for a considerably longer period than protein and oil-containing seed because of their hygroscopic nature. Some of the methods followed by the women include mixing 15 to 20 chilies strewn through a sack of rice, smearing seeds with red earth and soaked in cow's urine and dried and stored. Ash of paddy husk is mixed with jowar, paddy or wheat to prevent seed borers. Seeds rubbed with boiled castor oil or castor seed powder and thoroughly dried in the sun. Neem leaves mixed with sorghum seeds are kept in storage structures prepared out of lucky sticks, pasted with cow dung and covered by paddy straw. Yet another important aspect of seed conservation where farmers play an important role is testing for seed viability. The strength or vigor of seeds after the period of storage needs to be determined to estimate the uniformity or speed of germination, its health, purity, and moisture content. Seed germination is the active growth of the embryo. Therefore, percentage of germination gives an idea on whether the seeds are ready for planting. Women farmers, who are key custodians of the seeds, select the seeds from their storage and conduct germination tests as cultural and ritual aspects of farming. In Karnataka, this germination test is built into the festival of Ugadi, where seeds are sown in a clay pot and observed over a period of 9 days. Some of the precautions farmers have suggested during seed drying include avoiding exposure to mud, direct sunlight between 11 to 2 p.m., smearing pulses with castor and allowing the guards to dry on the plant. Farmers' knowledge extends to beyond protecting seeds from insects to also protecting the seeds from diseases like rots and blights. Natural additives like local plants, minerals and oil are used for treating the seeds. Treating diseases in seeds can also be tackled with hot water treatment and fermentation. Seeds soaked in water with temperatures of 50 degrees centigrade for 25 minutes helps in managing diseases like black rot, black leaf spot and black leg in cabbage. Treating wetland paddy, dry paddy and finger millet with diluted cow's urine at a ratio of 1 to 10 decreases the failure of germination of the seed as well as seedling mortality. It also prevents seed-borne diseases like neck blast in finger millet and blast in paddy. Raising seedlings in a nursery was initiated as part of the efforts to conserve the much-needed seeds by the farmers. The main objective of the training was to facilitate the farmers to raise seedlings under controlled conditions and to benefit them economically. The group activity was initiated in one of the villages and training was imparted to interested farmers in nursery raising. In the consecutive years, 29 farmers from different villages have raised around 36,700 tomato seedlings, 9,000 chili seedlings, and 2,800 brinjal seedlings. The seedlings have been distributed in and around the villages. Community seed banks are low-cost, low-technology systems owned and managed by the local communities. The concept of community seed bank comprises of two major components: a seed store and germplasm repository for local crop improvement, complementary to the field gene bank. The seed store represents a seed reserve consisting of land raised locally grown. The store becomes a backup to the local market networks where farmers normally exchange seeds and information. The seed reserve that the community seed banks maintain becomes crucial to ensuring a sustained supply of adapted seeds channeled through the informal market system, thereby averting the potential loss of genetic diversity. Whilst there is scope to improve the structures depending upon local skills, in the chain of events that constitute a successful on-farm conservation network, community seed banks occupy an important place.